Everyone calls Amsoil the king of motor oil, so we put that belief on a dyno. Same engine, same load, same punishment. After 24 hours of controlled abuse, the oil people worship didn't actually wear a crown. And if you believe there's one motor oil that's best for every engine, this test is going to make you uncomfortable. Because what really matters isn't brand loyalty, it's application. This wasn't a bench test. This wasn't a spreadsheet comparison. And this definitely wasn't sponsored. This was a fully instrumented engine dyno test designed to do one thing: create wear fast. 8 high-end oils, boutique brands, household names, domestic and European, all run in the same engine, under the same temperatures, with the same flat tappet camshaft, intentionally designed to wear faster than normal. Every oil started clean. Every oil was flushed properly. No carryover, no shortcuts, no excuses. Instead of opinions, we measured reality: wear metals, oil temperature, torque across the curve, oxidation stability, shear resistance, and turbo deposit behavior. And what these results show explains why some engines live past 200,000 miles, while others die early, even when owners do everything right. Because the biggest mistake drivers make isn't choosing the wrong oil brand. It's believing there is a single best oil. Number 12. Why this test matters. Most oil debates online are useless. People argue brands. They quote marketing slogans. They repeat things they heard from a friend of a friend. But engines don't care about opinions. They care about film strength, cooling, contamination control, and chemical stability under heat and load. So instead of asking, which oil do people like the most, we asked a harder question. How do these oils actually behave when you stress them? To answer that, we used a controlled engine dyno setup with a flat tappet camshaft engineered to accelerate wear. That allows us to compress what would normally take hundreds of hours of street driving into a short, repeatable test window. 2 hours per oil. High oil temperature. Repeated 3,000 to 6,000 RPM pulls. Constant load. 0 operator influence. Then we backed that up with laboratory testing designed to predict long-term behavior. This isn't perfect. No test is, but it's far closer to reality than most internet oil myths. Number 11. The oils tested. Brief context. We tested 8 premium oils across different base oil strategies: ester heavy synthetics, PAO-based oils, GTL-based oils, Group 3 formulations, oils with heavy friction modifiers, oils with little to no viscosity index improvers. Some were built for long drain intervals. Some were built for track use. Some were built to balance everything. And that difference, what an oil was designed to do, is the key to understanding the results. Number 10. The first surprise: wear metals. Let's start with wear, because that's what most people obsess over. We measured total wear metals using used oil analysis after each 2-hour dyno run. The results shocked a lot of people. There was no runaway failure. No oil destroyed the engine. Modern oils, even API-rated ones, protected the flat tappet cam just fine. That alone should kill the myth that modern oils can't protect older valve train designs. But here's where it gets interesting. The spread between the best and the worst oils in total wear metals was small. In some cases, a budget oil from a previous test performed within striking distance of boutique brands, costing 2 or 3 times as much. That doesn't mean premium oils are a scam. It means wear protection alone is not the whole story. Number 9. Why low wear numbers can mislead you. Here's something oil marketing never tells you. An oil can show low wear metals in a short test and still be a terrible choice for your engine long-term. Why? Because wear numbers don't tell you how fast additives deplete, how the oil handles oxidation, how it behaves when contamination rises, how it performs in turbo heat soak, how stable its viscosity remains over time. Low wear today does not guarantee engine survival tomorrow. And that's where this test separates myth from reality. Number 8. Oil temperature and cooling. The hidden job oil doesn't just lubricate, it cools. And oil temperature matters far more than most drivers realize. In this test, some oils consistently ran hotter than others. Not because they were bad, but because of base oil viscosity and chemistry. Thicker oils created more friction at a constant load, which translated into higher oil temperatures. Thinner oils often ran cooler, but that came with trade-offs elsewhere. This is where many people get confused. They hear, thicker oil protects better. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it isn't. There is always a price to pay. Number 7. Torque and area under the curve. Peak horsepower is meaningless. What matters is area under the torque curve. That's what accelerates a vehicle. That's what you feel in the seat. And yes, oil choice affected torque. The difference between the best performing and worst performing oils was roughly 10 foot-pounds of torque. That is not imaginary. You would feel that difference. Some oils produced smoother, broader torque curves. Others lost efficiency due to higher internal drag. Again, not good or bad. Just chemistry doing what chemistry does. Number 6. Oxidation stability. Where king claims break. Now we move beyond the 2-hour dyno test. Oxidation stability tells us how long an oil can survive heat before it breaks down chemically. Using industry-standard tests like PDSC, we saw huge differences. Some oils were clearly designed for extended drain intervals. They resisted oxidation for much longer. Others fell behind, not because they're bad oils, but because they were never designed for long drains. This is where many drivers unknowingly kill engines. They run a high-performance oil, optimized for power and cooling, and then stretch the oil change interval because it's expensive, so it must last longer. That assumption is wrong. Number 5. Shear stability. What happens under stress? Shear stability measures how well an oil maintains its viscosity under high mechanical stress. This matters in high RPM engines, turbocharged engines, tight bearing clearances, engines with aggressive valve train geometry. Oils with heavy viscosity index improvers can shear down over time. Oils with little or no VI improvers tend to stay stable. But again, that comes with trade-offs. In this test, oils designed for shear stability performed exactly as expected. No surprises. And that's the point. When chemistry matches application, results make sense. Number 4. The turbo problem. Most people ignore. Now let's talk about turbo engines. Most people think wide-open throttle kills oil. It doesn't. Heat soak after shutdown does. When you shut off a hot turbo engine, oil stops flowing, but heat doesn't stop. Oil sitting in turbo bearings bakes. If it leaves deposits, your turbo's life is short. Using turbo deposit testing, we saw clear differences. Some oils resisted deposits extremely well, others didn't. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Some oils that showed excellent wear protection performed poorly in turbo deposit resistance. Again, no crown. Number 3. So, is Amsoil the king? Here's the honest answer. No oil won everything. Amsoil Signature Series performed very well overall. Strong oxidation stability, good wear control, solid turbo deposit resistance, stable viscosity. It absolutely earned its reputation as a high-quality oil, but it did not dominate every category. And that's the point. There is no king. There are tools. Number 2. Why the best oil question is wrong. Asking, what's the best oil, is like asking, what's the best tire? For snow? For track use? For towing? For fuel economy? For longevity? The answer changes. Oil is no different. An oil optimized for track cooling maximum torque short intervals will not be ideal for extended drains, cold starts turbo longevity, and pretending otherwise is how engines die early. Number 1. What actually matters for you. Instead of chasing brands, ask better questions. How hot does my engine run? Is it turbocharged? Does it dilute oil with fuel? How long do I run oil between changes? Do I care more about longevity or performance? Once you answer those honestly, the best oil becomes obvious. Not universally best. Best for your application. Modern engine oils are incredibly good. Even budget oils today outperform premium oils from decades ago. But oil advice hasn't evolved with engine design. Believing there's one oil that does everything better than all others is not just wrong. It's expensive. Engines don't fail because owners didn't care. They fail because marketing replaced understanding. And the dyno doesn't care what the bottle says. If this video challenged what you thought you knew about motor oil, good. That discomfort is how better decisions start. If you want a deeper breakdown of any of these tests, or how to choose oil for your specific engine, let me know in the comments. No hype, no brand worship, just sound mechanical practice. Thanks for watching.